Hiya, it's me, a London cigar smoker, and it's 2026. We've got some exciting stuff coming our way. So, in London, we've got 3 new cigar shops and sampling lounges opening up pretty soon. The first one's just opened up. It opened just before Christmas, and it's called the Cigar Merchant in Duke's Hotel. It's in St James. It's what I call Cigar Mile because you've got so many different cigar venues nearby. You've got Davidoff of London, top notch place to go and visit. You've also got Cigars Limited. You've got JJ Fox, which is the original, I think the oldest cigar merchant in the world. Well worth checking out. You've also got the Ritz Hotel where they've got a sampling lounge, and I think that's being refurbished at the moment. So that's another exciting thing to come later in the year. And you've also got the Stafford Hotel where you can smoke outside, which is a fantastic spot. So you've got loads of places, right? And Duke's Hotel, Cigar Merchant, is in that area too. So it's just around the corner from there. And yeah, like I said, just before Christmas, it opened to the public. And just this weekend that's just passed, I went and had a look. But before that, I did also get a bit of a preview of the hotel in November. With the view that I was going to pop into the cigar lounge, but I didn't get the chance to pop in because they were still doing it. So yeah, this weekend I got to see the whole thing. I thought I'd do a video to kind of just summarise it, debrief really, talk about what happened, what I encountered. I normally blog it, which I've done already. I posted it today, but I thought I'd try recording my reaction to it really, and just an experiment. Don't know if I'm going to carry it on all the time, but yeah, let's see how it goes. And it'd be good to get your feedback. You know, does it work? Is it useful? Is it not? Is it wasting my time? Is it wasting your time? You know, like let me know. Before I start going through it, yeah, I'm going to smoke a cigar. So I'm going to smoke the Quai d'Orsay number 54, one of my favourite cigars. It's a Cuban cigar. It's very, very mild. It was for the French cigar smokers, and there's actually a road or an area, a district in France called Quai d'Orsay. I need to go and visit that at some point. And it's just a cigar that I really resonates. It really resonates with me. I really enjoy smoking it. I actually bought a box of 10 of these when I went to Gran Canaria last year, towards the end of last year, at the La Casa out there. So I think this is the first one I've tried from it. So yeah, had it in the humidor for a few weeks, couple of months. Yeah, hopefully I've looked after it well. I've done it justice. But yeah, let's cut the cap and then let's light the cigar. Oh, I love this cigar. Perfect. So, got my cigar lit. It's smoking all right. Yeah, here we go. So, yeah, I'm going to use my iPad because I've got a few notes on it from my blogs just to remind me of what I want to talk about. But yeah, so in November last year, I got an invite actually to a special preview of the cigar. Well, it was meant to. I thought it was a preview of the cigar lounge, but it was actually a preview of the drawing room, which is one of the first rooms that they're opening as part of the refurbishment. So yeah, rocked up, and it was great. I got to meet some of the staff there, and the drawing room is a place where you can have all your drinks. You can have whiskies. you can have some great drinks there. They've got loads of cocktails lined up as well. So this is pretty cool. You can hang out in there. The room's designed by, or the hotel's going to be designed by Russell Sage. And he's taken inspiration from the guests that have visited there. So word has it that Princess Diana used to go there, and she used to sit in the drawing room and have afternoon tea there. And where she had afternoon tea, they've actually got like a montage to her in the form of like a picture that's got a silhouette of her and her wearing a hat. So that's pretty cool. And then, yeah, I think the room's designed after Mary Delaney, and I don't know much about her, if I'm honest. And I was there for cigars, so I was more curious about the cigar lounge than the drawing room. But the drawing room is pretty cool. So it's very, very pink, very, very feminine. Not gentleman style, not like the James Bond stuff that I would imagine you get in the Duke's bar for the martini. But nice if you've got a partner coming into town and you want to chill out in there. But yeah, this is kind of where you walk through before you get to the cigar merchant. So the cigar merchant I didn't get to go into until this weekend. So on Saturday afternoon, I went at 3 o'clock and I went and visited the cigar merchant. And one, it was quite quiet as I was going in, but actually the room gets filled quite quickly. So first of all, the cigar merchant is in an old hotel room. So it's pretty small. It's quite small. It's not a massive cigar lounge. It's actually quite a small cigar lounge. So it's very cozy. That's what I would say. And actually there's 14 seats in there. And it's really, the designer, Russell Sage, did design the interior. And Massimo of D'Art designed the humidor that's in there as well. So Massimo of D'Art's designed nearly all the humidors in London. He's also recently done the casino in Monte Carlo. So he's designed the humidor that's in there, in the cigar lounge there. And he's working on the new cigar lounge that's in Pall Mall, the La Casa, that's opening in March, I think, this year. So he's like amazing, right? He's like legendary, and he makes a lot of cigar humidors for the Habanos Festival as well that get auctioned off at the end. So he's like top of the game when it comes to humidor making. So he's made the humidor in there. It is quite small as well. Like I was expecting it to be quite big, but it is quite a small humidor. And there's not huge selections of cigars in there. The cigars that I remember that were in there were obviously you've got Cuban cigars, and then you've got Davidoff cigars, and then you've got a few New World cigars as well. And in particular, yeah, what did I find? So yeah, they've got a house blend cigar, which was it's a Manu house blend cigar. So Manu is, I think, the owner of the cigar merchant, and he also has the tasting room at the Peninsula in London. And I believe his background is in cigar hospitality and cigar sommelier. And I think he used to work for Bulgari Lounge, the Edward Sahakian Lounge as well. So he knows his stuff. And he has hired Diana, who is a master of Habanos in the UK. She's originally from Moldova, and she's one of the only female masters of Habanos in the UK cigar scene. She's great. She's fantastic. Really approachable. So if you've never been in the cigar sort of shops before or merchants before, she'll be able to give you like lots of information about it. If you're an expert as well, she'll be able to pair you up with something really cool, and also get you the some good drinks to sample with your cigar as well. So that's pretty cool. She's great, and the team around them, everyone I've met who work there feel like are great. They're like a family. So they're very friendly. They make you all feel welcome. Like when I went in the second time to the cigar merchant, the guy on the reception recognised me and made me feel really welcome. So I sort of felt like I belonged there, even though I'm walking into this like massively expensive hotel, which probably cannot afford to stay in the rooms for. But it was really nice. It was a really nice welcome. And before you get into the cigar merchant, if you can drop your coats off and stuff at the reception, and you can pick it up on your way out. And you can also pop down to the toilet before you go in there as well, because you might be in the cigar lounge for a little while whilst you're smoking your cigar. So yeah, So once you're in, yeah, you can pick your cigar. They do have price lists, but they don't have the prices on the humidor itself. So do check it. You know, like sometimes it always feels a bit awkward to ask, but you know, like you just don't want to pick one that's like a huge amount of money because they all look the same size, but some are more expensive than the other. When I asked, I think it was from £30. Which was the cheapest cigar, and I think it was like 570 was the most expensive cigar, and I think that was the special reserves. So I think they had. Let's just check my notes. I think they had. Yeah, they had a Monte Cristo special reserve, and they had a Partagas Serie E #2 Grand Reserve. See, I love the Grand. I love the E2, but a Grand Reserve, yeah, that cost a fortune. I think that's about 570 quid. So also they had others that stood out were like, hang on. Oh, I do too much talking. The other cigars that stood out were like the My Father and Tatiawe. I can't even say that name. I'm getting better at it, but I'm getting there. And they had a collaboration cigar called La Union. I've never seen that before, and that's here in the UK. So that's cool. They had some Padron cigars. They had some Machiro Fuente, and like I said, there's some Davidoffs as well. I went for the what did I go for in there? I went for the San Cristobal Cabana cigar. And that was a nice cigar. It wasn't that memorable. Like, I can't really remember it. I was talking quite a lot when I was in there. So I wasn't sort of sat with the cigar, but it was enjoyable. Like, it was a great experience overall, but I cannot remember like what I got from the cigar. So because I'm lost in my own bubble when I'm in these lounges chatting to people. And lucky enough, actually, when I got in there, so it's quite cozy. So there's 14 seats and you are quite close to each other. So which is cool if there's a big group of you, but like if you're a few different groups, you can overhear each other's conversations. If you're on your own, you're kind of in the conversation with everyone else. So that's the only weirdness that I find. Like, I don't mind, because actually when I went in there, I knew everyone in there, which was really cool, because Manu was in there, the staff were in there. They had a few folk from Salta Cigars in there. They had David, who owns Mantis Accessories, was in there as well, which was super cool. And I've been hanging out with him a couple of times recently over the last year. And he's great. He's got a great selection of cigar accessories. They showed me some of the cigar cutters that they've got. Proper sharp, really good quality. So worth checking that out. You can log on to their store and buy on their store, actually. And they've got cigar ashtrays and cigar lighters. And then what else was I going to say? And then you got the cocktails. So I had a few cocktails. I normally either go for a Negroni or I go for like an old fashioned. That's kind of what I normally go for. And I had was the Admiral, and that was like the twist and on the classic old fashions. So and that had a bit of coconut wash Navy strength rum in it. There was some mixed Dom Benedictine, Grand Marnier, and Angostura bitters. Crikey. Yeah, so you're getting some good cocktails in there, and they were great. They were fantastic. They really paired nicely with the cigar, which was good. So that was cool. And I also, when I was in there, I got chatting to two guys, yeah, Mike and Simon. And that was really cool because Mike had read the blog. So big shout out if you're watching this. But yeah, really cool because it was great because I had some people to talk to, and it was really interesting hearing his sort of cigar journey and his mates. And they'd heard about the Duke's cigar merchant through Davidoff. So Edward Sahakian and Eddie Sahakian actually went into the cigar merchant just before Christmas because it's only over the road from them. And I think when I was talking to Diana, she said they did like a little soft launch with some of the industry folk there. So I think Jimmy McGee popped over from J&J Fox and popped in for a cigar to sample as well. And yeah, they basically these two guys went into Davidoff and they wanted to sample their cigar. They didn't realise that you couldn't do it in Davidoff. So yeah, Sahakians recommended the Duke's cigar merchant. So they went over and yeah, pretty cool. And again, it just shows you how gentlemanlike the Sakians are, because they always, they're making sure that you have a good experience. And it's fantastic. So that was cool. So that was really nice hanging out with them for a bit. And yeah, and then there was a big group from Salters there. So again, it felt quite busy in there, because there was probably like 12 out of the 14 seats were sort of taken up. And yeah, but it was a good atmosphere, and you get totally lost in there. You don't realise you're in the middle of London when you're in there. You feel, you're sort of taken out of society, and you're just in this sort of, cigar bubble, really. And it was very good, very nice, very, very nice. So, yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I'd go like back regularly, because it is quite expensive. Look, it's a hotel in London where they've got Cigar. Now, if you buy Coke in a normal lounge in a hotel, you pay a lot more than what you do if you buy it from the shop. So, it's the same with cigars. If you're going to buy a cigar in London in a hotel, you're going to pay a lot more than you would if you went into sort of Cigars on Limited, for example. So, so when you go into these sort of hotels, they're a bit more like treats. So they're kind of like the sort of place you want to go for a birthday or something like that, or a special occasion, really. So I think my cigar and my drink cost 85 quid altogether. So it was quite a lot of money. And so I wouldn't be able to do that all the time. But, for me, I just want to go and visit all of the cigar shops that I can. So I just want to sort of tick them all off. And yeah, I'm glad I went. Ventilation was in there. They've got a big ventilation machine inside. I think they need to cover it up a bit to fit in with the rest of the interior, but I think it's fairly new. But you can't really smell cigar smoke on your clothes. But saying that, I don't really ever notice it. Other people around me do, but I don't really notice it. So I might not be the best person to judge that, but it didn't feel too smoky in there for such a small space. And what else? They've got the cigar. They've got a bit outside, which would be great to smoke a cigar in the summer. And I think that's where the original cognac and cigar garden was. I don't think they're going to be sampling cigars there, because the smoke will go into the Delaney room, the drawing room, and I don't think they want that. So I think they're going to keep everything in that sampling lounge, really. But yeah, fantastic little spot. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad I went. Like I said, Diana is wicked, really, really cool. And it's nice to check out new places. So we've got a few new cigar shops and sampling lounges opening up. Like I said, we've got this one that's just opened. We've also got the Chancery Rosewood, which is in the old American Embassy, the old US Embassy, which is going to be, I think, a partnership with Souters, and they're going to have some kind of cigar terrace on the roof, opposite or parallel to the Eagle Bar that's up there. And Lawrence Davis has been talking to Nick Hammond on their Instagram lives about that, so it's worth tuning into that to hear more. And then obviously Dominique London is going to be opening up La Casa del Habanos, Pall Mall, and I think they're both being penciled in for March. Sometimes these things don't always meet the deadlines. But yeah, Kirby Allison did a quick review of the kind of work in progress of that just before Christmas, which you can look at on my blog. But yeah, some really exciting stuff coming our way. Have heard there's 2 other La Casas coming as well. I don't know where they are. But yeah, if you know of any more, let me know, because I'm always on the hunt for new ones. If you want to visit Duke's Hotel, it's in St James's. So let's tell you a bit more about that. I've got all the links on my blog. So if you go onto my blog, you look up Duke's London. It's at 35 St James Place in London, SW1A1NY. Drop them. That was it. So because it's quite small, you might want to ring up beforehand to check their space, or if they can reserve your space. And they don't do reservations, but you might be lucky. So you can ring the phone number. So the phone number's on their website. Their website's at dukeshotel.com. But yeah, definitely do that. If you're in London all the time, you can always just pop in and out. But if it is a special occasion, you might want to give them a ring beforehand just to see if it's worth your time going over there. But like I said, if it's not, you know, you can always pop to some of the other places nearby and then pop back. But yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what your thoughts and feedback is. If you think I should keep doing them, let me know. If you think I should park it, let me know. Subscribe if you can, that would be great. And otherwise, yeah, over and out. Happy cigar smoking. Take care.